Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today we are going to cover the average function, under which we will be covering average, average f, and average f's. So these are the three functions that we'll be covering in our today's lecture. Before starting today's lecture, I would like to request you all, if you all feel that my pace of teaching is slow, you all can fast forward the video and watch the video. And apart from this, I'm also attaching a link so that you can download the PDF from there and you can practice it side by side with me. Okay, so I would request you all to go down to the description and download the file from there and start practicing with me itself. Okay, so firstly we'll be seeing what is average. What is an average function? So this function determines the average of the values included in the argument. It calculates the sum of the cells and then divides the value by the number of cells in the argument. So we all are well aware of the average functions. We all have studied average in our schooling days. So that should not be a huge concern. Few key points that we should be knowing: that if the cell is blank or contains text, the cell will not be used in the average calculation. So for an example, in this case, there are blank cells. So these blank cells will not be considered in the calculation of average. Same applies here, as here it is a text. We cannot find average of a text. We should have a numerical value, right? We all know this. Average will be determined based on the numerical values of the data. So in both the cases, when there will be no numerical data, or there will be blanks, or there will be text, the function won't take it as a function will not calculate average on that. Okay, next is, if the cell contains 0, the cell will be included in the average calculation. For an example, in here as you can see, it is 0, right? What is the value of 0? Null. So this and this, practically if we see, this both means the same, but the average function will consider this cell, but it won't consider this cell because this cell is null. Null what is? Blank. That is blank. Okay. Next, moving forward, we will be seeing the practical implementation of the average. Before that, I would like to write the syntax of the average. Okay. Start with me equals to average. Okay. So what is the syntax of average? Average, like uh, if you are practicing with me, you can see that the syntax will be displayed below uh, the cell where you are typing. Okay, so the syntax is very simple. You just need to select the numbers of which you need average. For example, I need average of this whole. Okay, so I'll just select and I'll press enter and I'll get the average. So here you can see equals to average D4 to J4. So this is D4 and this is J4. Okay, and now the one basic thing, how you will know that this is J4, you can see here it displays the cell placement. Okay, the cell name. So J4 here, N10. Okay, so it will be easy from D4 to J4. Here you can see. Okay, so moving forward, as you can see, I have already done here average D4 to J4, here average D5 to J5. So here you can see that it, like, though we have selected from D4 to J4, okay, here we have selected from D5 to J5, but the function won't consider these three blank cells. Okay, the function will not consider these three blank cells. So uh, please guys, there is a request that please keep on practicing with me. Okay, keep on doing with me. Okay, next, pause the video and practice it by yourself. I'm assuming that you all have done it. Moving forward to here, like here we will be just applying the formula, okay, and we'll be selecting this and hitting the enter, we'll get the answer. Same here we will do, okay, we will do the same over here. Now what I did, I just double clicked in the top bottom right corner here, okay. What it does, I'll explain it in the another slide. So for like for now, just practice this, apply formulas in these two rows and match the answers with this, okay. Moving forward, you can also apply the formula in these two boxes. I'm not explaining the average function in much detail because there is no as such detail in it. We all have studied the average during our schooling days, okay, and also during our college days, so we are well aware of the average and there is no difficulty. I think there should be no difficulties in calculating the average, okay. I would like to give an example here. For example, here average, okay, I'm selecting this, okay. Now enter, the average is showing 2. Now if I delete this, now you can see it changed, the value changed, it became 2.33. Can anyone guess why it is? If you all can guess, please write down in the comment section your answers, I'll check from there. So the reason is simple. If it is not include, as we all know that there are exceptions in average function, so this cell won't be considered since it is blank, so it will not be considered, it will not be counted. And for calculating average, we divide the sum of the values with the number of values, okay. So here as we can see, earlier there was 7 counts, now it's 6, so we are dividing with the lesser number, which is why we are getting the higher remainder, okay. I think this should be clear. If I do 0 here, you will be getting the same answer as before, okay. We'll move forward to average if. Now here we have got this data, okay. So ID, company name, priority, open time, resolved by, okay, status, resolved time, time spent, TTR, okay. So this is the data, and these are the questions. So let me give you a basic difference between average if average ifs, okay. So what is the difference between average if and average ifs? So average if is nothing but a when we have to apply a single condition, we use average if. But when there are more than one condition, we use average ifs, okay. I'll show you in the upcoming slide, but for like now, just remember that average if we use when there is one condition, and average ifs we use when there are more than one conditions that has to be applied, okay. I prefer using average ifs even if there is one condition cause it's easier to remember one function, right, rather than just using different functions for the same thing. So the question asking average of TTR, okay, so this average, so it is asking the average of this. So pause the video and try to calculate the average. Okay, now I'm calculating the average, assuming that you all have done that. Average of this. Okay, so this is the average. This is the average of TTR. Okay, now the next question is average of TTR company wise. Okay, average of TTR company wise. As we can see here, there are companies, okay, different companies, AIM, AONUK, okay, BNTP. So this is the slide I have done the calculation of. So this is the average of TTR. Here you can see the formula. Now the point is, okay, what is the point? Here you can see there is a slight change in the formula bar. As you can see here in the formula bar, the formula. So as our data is not present in the same sheet, okay, currently where we are, sheet average ifs report, but our data is in average if dot ifs. Okay, so here as you can see average if dot ifs, then exclamation mark, then j2 to j21. Okay, j2 to j21. So from j2 to j21, from j2 to j21. Okay, so this exclamation mark, this is nothing but it shows the placement of where your data lies. Okay, so from the next time whenever you'll come across this syntax, you'll easily be able to know that where my actual data lies, where is the original data from where we are getting the answers. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, it's getting my point. I hope you all are getting my point. Moving forward with the things. Now the thing is, if we see, sorry guys, I just did this. Okay, so now the thing is, our question number 2, what was our question number 2? Average of TTR company wise. So we have to find it by company wise. Here aim on BNTP. Okay, so here as you can see in the formula bar, have a close look, zoom in and have a close look. Average ifs, average if dot ifs exclamation mark, as I already told you earlier before, okay, that it is nothing but it shows where our original data lies, sheet. Okay, it is nothing but sheet name. Now here is the data average ifs. What is the syntax of average if? Okay, let me show you the syntax of average if first. So I'll write it here, average ifs. Okay, so average if, what is the syntax? Firstly there will be average range from where we have to select the average, and then there will be criteria 1, criteria 2, like this. Okay, so how it is, I'll write it here. What is the syntax? Okay, it is nothing but average range comma criteria. Okay, criteria range 1 comma criteria 1 comma criteria range 2 comma criteria 2, and it goes on and on and on and on. So this is the syntax. So this is the syntax. Okay, this is what, this is nothing but the syntax of average if. Here you can see, you all can zoom in and see. So what is the syntax of average if? Average if's syntax is, firstly what we'll be doing, we'll be selecting the average range, then we'll be selecting the criteria range. So here what is our average range? Here we have to select the average of TTR. So this is our TTR, is our average range. Okay, we'll be selecting this. Then what is the syntax? Syntax says ki criteria 1, we have to select the criteria 1 range. So here what is the criteria? Company wise. So company will be, sorry, excuse me guys, company will be our criteria range. So this is the criteria, we'll be selecting this, and then we will be applying the criteria, that what is the criteria. Okay, so please have a close look in this formula and note it down. Okay, now focusing on this, focusing here, now you'll be easily be able to understand what the formula bar is trying to say. Okay, so this is nothing but sheet name J2 to J21. Now there is a dollar sign in between. Okay, here you can see there is a dollar sign. What does this dollar sign means? Okay, I'll explain it by an example. Okay, I'm just giving an example. For example, if we have data like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60 for say, then I take these two numbers, then if I hit enter, if I do this, so what you will notice that it is doing the sum of nothing, but it will do this is nothing but what we call it in our language, it is called a relative reference. Okay, this is nothing but a relative reference. Okay, so this dollar signs basically symbolizes a freezing. We have to freeze it. What does I mean? What do I mean with this is, here you can see there are relative reference. So 30 plus 20 it's showing 50, 50 plus 30 it's showing 70, 70 plus 40 it's showing 90, 90 plus 50 it's showing 110. But for example, if I just sum, if I take this 2 and I just freeze this, how I'm going to freeze? You just have to press the F4 key. You have to press the F4 key, or if it doesn't work in your laptop or computer, just press Fn plus F4 key. Fn plus F4 key or just F4 key. So I'm freezing this. What it is like, it's it got freezed. Okay. Now if I hit the enter, and now if I drag it, so it's showing nothing but it's just adding up. The value is taking from here itself. Okay, it's taking from here 30. It's just adding up the whole data here. 30, 10 plus 20 it's 30, 10 plus 20 plus 30 it's 60, 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 is 100. So this way, this addition is 150, this 220. So this is the way it got added. So what do we call this reference? Okay, what is the reference called? It is called absolute reference. So earlier, this type of reference is called relative reference, and these types of references are called absolute reference. Absolute references, in absolute reference we use that dollar symbol. Okay, it freezes the data like from here. I'm saying that just take the considered data from here, or else what Excel does is it just pass on the things. If I for one function, for one calculating one thing, it considering from here, then for another it will consider from here and here and here. It will go on like this. Okay, so we have to tell Excel that okay, I want to freeze it here. Just keep trying looking the data from here or add the data from here. Okay, so J2 to J21, this is what are, according to formula, what is it? Average range. Okay, so average range is J2 to J21. Now criteria range. So criteria range, average, if this is what it is, just tell me in the comment section what it is. It is nothing but a sheet name. Okay, it is sheet name. Then B2 to B21. So what is B2 to B21? Here B2 to B21. Okay, what is this? Criteria range. So this is nothing but a range. Okay, criteria range. Now we will select the criteria. What is my criteria? Okay, so my criteria is where it is, yes. So we have selected the range, right? So we have selected the range. Now my criteria is aim. So here, the criteria is what is the criteria we are looking for? Aim. Okay, so we are looking for aim. So here in this, from this criteria range, what criteria we are looking for? Aim. Okay, so we are telling Excel that okay, this is my formula, just find me the solution. So Excel will find you the solution. It will just calculate the average of aim, and the same way you can apply it here, and the same way you can apply it here also. What will be the only change? In place of aim, you will write this condition, you will write this condition. Okay, so pause the video and practice it now only. Okay, Moving forward, what if we have more than one condition? Okay, so we are now we are looking for aim. Our first criteria is that we have to select the company aim, and there we have to find for human agent. We will look the data for aim. We will be finding for human agent only. As you can see here in aim, there is automation also. Okay, sales has been done by automation also, but for the company aim, we are looking for only the data that a human agent has sold products or anything. Okay, and we have to find the TTR of that. So how we are going to apply that? It is very simple, guys. Same, the syntax is the same. Average ifs. We'll first select the criteria. We'll first select the range of what we have, of which we have to get the average. Okay, then we will be selecting the criteria range, then we will be giving the criteria, then we will be selecting the second criteria range, then we will be giving the criteria. So what is our second criteria? Our second criteria is this human agent. Okay, what is our first criteria? Now what H4 means, 14 means, here you can see this. The moment I'm selecting this H14, this cell is getting highlighted. It is nothing but that we have selected this cell. So the question should be from your side that okay, Ashish, we wish we could have written aim also. Yes, you can write here in under curly bracket aim, but why I have written 14 H14 here is because if I write H14, there will be a added advantage. I'll show you. Okay, so for example, make it delete. Okay, so here I can just drag it and I'll get the answers of the other cells. For examples, for example, here there are only three cells. Okay, there are only three cells. But what if there would have been lakhs of cells here? Okay, we have to select lakhs of columns. So it is very hard to write this much of formula in those many cells. So we can just drag it and it will, like, the Excel will do the work for us. Okay, so it's quite easy. But if here I would have not written 14 H14 and I would have just written in under curly bracket aim, then this wouldn't have worked. Okay, I'll show you once. For an example, here I would have written aim. Okay, this will work here. This will work perfectly fine for here. But the moment I'll try to drag it, it will show an error. See, it's showing the same. Yes, can you see that? It is showing the same. Okay, can you see this? I did it twice. So you cannot uh, make it harder for you. Okay, because we have to, as we will be like handling lakhs of data, so it is very hard for us to um, write that many formulas. Okay, so I think this is clear to you. Same goes here also. You just have to select automation in case instead of the human agent. Okay, this is how it is. So our class for today ends here. We will meet you in another class and we'll be starting some other topic in that. And if you like this video, guys, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more contents. Bye. Have a good day.